It's the basement, y'all. Sanibonani avusheni. Dumelang. Once again, it's your boy MTHANDE. It's all love, no choice. Welcome to the basement. So this installment of the basement comes as a result of again a video that I saw of this preacher of this preacher, right? Was performing a miracle, right? Where he prayed for, apparently this guy did not have his testicles, right? Did not have his balls, and this guy performs this miracle of growing this guy his testicles back. Right. In addition to that, he gets a few more inches in length. Can't make these things up. So that got me thinking, right? But why are we so fixated on miracles? Why are we so fixated on the supernatural? Why are we always craving wonder? We have this inherent thing of wanting to experience wonderful things, just wonderful things, things that leave you in awe, that feeling of awe, like that feeling of just not knowing what to do with yourself. No, you have no words. All that matters for that couple of moments is that feeling, right? We all have this feeling. It's inherent within us. That's why it's so easy for these pastors and preachers to be. That's why they find it easy to fool people, because they know that within us, inherent within us, we want to experience things that we have no explanation for, things that leave us in awe, right? So that's why magicians in circus acts are a thing. They play on this need for you to experience wonder, unexplainable, supernatural things, even though they are performing a trick that does have an explanation. But because you are not aware and privy of this trick, then it becomes magic, because you do not have the inner workings of how this magician performed this trick. So it's a play at this inherent feeling that we all have within us to want to suspend all logic, right? And just lose ourselves in this experience, in this feeling of awe and wonder, right? So I'm gonna break it down as to why we have this feeling, right? What's the reason for us having this feeling, right? Because it's by design. We were designed this way. It's not a flaw. It's not a flaw. We were designed in this manner, right? But the biggest question is why, right? So bear in mind, this is gonna get a bit deep, but just beg, just keep it in mind that all I'm trying to do is explain the origin of this need for awe and wonder, right? So the why starts with um, you will often hear um, the Bible or Christians speaking about saying that we were made to to come and basically sasenzelwe ukuzodumisa. Itsho mos amakholwa atsho uba sasenzelwe ukuzomdumisa, right? My biggest thing with some of what is accepted in Christianity is the simplicity of not understanding what was originally meant, or what is truly meant by a specific statement or a phrase, right? Or a piece of wisdom. So sasizele ukuzodumisa. We were here to praise and glorify the Creator, right? This is from the scriptures and from some of these belief systems, right? And it's not wrong, but it's oversimplified. So here's why. So now we are this supreme, divine substrate by which all things are made, right? The divine creator, right? God, whatever you may, the Most High, umvelinqangi, right? This entity, even me saying that sounds a bit disrespectful, right? But that's the only word we have in English to address something that you are referring to, right? So this entity, right? This entity of absolute, it's sort of a mixture of absolute intelligence, absolute consciousness, absolute energy, absolute potential, all possibilities grouped into one thing that is neither here nor here, that exists outside of space and time, right? There aren't words to describe this type of entity, right? It starts sounding nonsensical, right? But let's just reel it back to referring to this being or this entity as the creator, the divine creator, right? So upon being, remember, you exist outside of time and space, and you are everything, right? You are God being. Since we are human beings, you are God being, right? Then you decide to create out of boredom, maybe, whatever reason may have been the reason for creation. I won't go into that. But you create, right? You create life, you create space time, you create the universe, you create reality, right? And it's beautiful, right? It's a masterpiece, right? Um, Now I'm gonna make the example of the guy who painted the Mona Lisa, right? So the equivalent of creation is the Mona Lisa, right? It's art, it's creation, is beautiful, it's profound, it's deep, it's awe-inspiring, it's wonderful. There aren't enough superlatives to describe creation, right? It's the most, it's jaw-dropping in all its glory, in all its immenseness, in all its, you run out of superlatives to describe creation, right? The feeling God had after creating creation is the same feeling the guy who painted the Mona Lisa felt, right? This beauty, this creation, this thing, this painting, right? Remember, there's no need for a painting, there's no need for art. Just like God did not need to create, but he did anyway, right? So now you are this artist in your basement somewhere. You have created this masterpiece, right? This exquisite piece of creation. You as an artist, you are expressing this you are expressing this um urge, this need to express your creative abilities, right? And you create the Mona Lisa, right? One of the most famous and one of the most um, prized pieces of art there are in the world, period, right? So now the problem starts with, as an artist, you have created this masterpiece, but now it's in your basement somewhere. Each time you look at it, it's great, it's a masterpiece, it's exquisite, it's great to look at, it's a great creation that you have done. But now, you having marveled at this, it appreciated it for what it is, it's like, what's next? Okay, you're gonna stare at this thing for a couple of weeks, but because there's gonna come a time when it starts being tedious, right? And you're gonna have this urge for this piece of art to be also enjoyed by other people, right? And it's gonna take other artists or other people who understand what art is to come and appreciate this beautiful thing, right? Remember, the Mona Lisa is a beautiful thing. It's a creation, but in and of itself, it's inanimate. It doesn't know that it is the it is it doesn't understand. It doesn't have the capability to understand the beauty that it is, right? And at the end of the day, the Mona Lisa is just a piece of cloth and painting and paint, right? So so to the Mona Lisa doesn't understand what it is. It doesn't have the capability of understanding what it is. It needs someone outside of it to appreciate what it is, right? Hence needing other artists to come and enjoy this thing and marvel at it, who are gonna understand what it might have took to make such a creation, right? So that's why you then need an audience. You then need other artists to come and appreciate this thing. right? So back to God, back to God and creation, right? All of creation, all of space, all of reality, all of the things that are in creation, they are still part of creation, right? They go about their design, how they were designed to do what they were meant to do, but for them inside creation, there is a lion doesn't know that it is a lion. It just goes on instinct. Okay, I'm born this way. This is what I do. I chase other things and eat them. That's just it doing what it was designed to do. It doesn't have the capacity to understand that I'm a lion or those are humans or whatever. God having been there when he was creating creation, he can't experience the same wonder as another being can when he experiences this thing anew, right? Because he was there when he was creating this thing. He might know how wonderful it is, but experience is something else. And he gets to experience it anew when we experience it anew because we've been lost for all this time. And for us, it's not just intellectualizing it, right? We experience it. You just left there um, dumbfounded with no words, with no taken aback. You have no words to describe. It's just a feeling. Then God taps into that feeling and he experiences this thing anew each time through our eyes and through our experience. That's what we were here for. That's what um, glorifying this thing means. And when you marvel at this thing, creation, or when you marvel at the Mona Lisa, the creation, by default you do marvel and glorify the painter, the artist, or the creator. That's by default, right? And as I was saying that we as a being, right, as a complete being, there's spirit, God, eternal, right? There's the carnal side of you, inyama, your body organs, your brain, right? At the center is a combination of your archetypal energy, the many archetypes by which we are all designed, right? The warrior archetype, the king archetype, the magician archetype, the princess archetype, the maiden archetype, and so forth. It's a combination of that and your whole karma, your past memories, your just your whole design by which you will assume during your different incarnations. That's your soul. Between the soul and your body, where they meet is the mind through the brain, right? Now where the soul meets the spirit and the eternal, where they meet and connect and exchange information, is what is known as the Christ consciousness. It's the only way by which the soul connects to the eternal, right? It temporarily, while you are still alive, it connects temporarily, right? Through wonder, through this orgasmic feeling, right? It's only when you have done all that you are here to do as a soul and you have learned all that you are here to do that, and you are so far removed from your carnal side, then you can cross over to nirvana. That is the soul, the eternal spirit, God, forever, and then you assimilate into that with all your experiences, right? So the only way you connect to spirit is through this orgasmic feeling, this feeling of wonder, this feeling of being speechless. And um, the problem we are in now is we still seek for that feeling. We still seek that feeling of wonder because it's by design. But we have moved away so far from this side and living through the corner that the only way we connect to this side, it has gotten to a point where we only can connect for more than a minute through spirit, through or through where we can gain this awareness of experiencing creation as wonder and its depth and its immensity, only through things like ayahuasca, DMT, acid, but that also only lasts for a couple of hours. And when people get to, for those few moments, get to experience life, creation in all its glory, they cry, right? When it happens for the first time, and it hits you that all all we were here to do was to experience this thing, and it's enough. It's so immense and deep and wonderful, and that people literally cry, right? And again, this orgasmic feeling um, does not belong to intercourse and sex, right? When when you are so far removed from your carnal side, your ego, the flesh, and you are closer to this side, your chakras, your chakra points are balanced, energy flows without any hindrance, there aren't any blockages, there aren't any leaks, right? You will see yogis and gurus in India and monks and Chinese monks just live going on about their business, harassing no one. It's because these mofos constantly get orgasms throughout the day, right? Where most of us can only extract a small glimpses of this ecstatic feeling and connection to spirit through things like sex, food, and so forth. When you have done when you've done enough inner engineering, you get that feeling throughout the day, right? And you get to experience um, life in all its glory, its immensity. And when we were first created, right, we were green in color, right? Green in color. We did not have to eat or drink, right? We you see your veins are still green, right? And when babies are born, they are born sometimes with patches of green skin, right? There are still remnants in our DNA that have become dormant now, right? Because we've moved away from how we were supposed to live. So when we were first created, we were in this green color, and we did not have to do a lot of things. Just by being, You were able at that time we were able to live perpetually forever basically, right? Because you got your where now we get the energy from the sun via plants and food. That time we had the capability to just absorb the energy directly from the sun, so you did not have to eat or drink, right? And our soles of our feet were so porous that we absorbed nutrients just by walking bare feet, right? And at that time we were so connected to spirit, right? And we were doing what we were meant to do, which was just to be. And in being, you would you had this ability to just marvel at creation, seeing its depth, seeing its beauty, its how it all flows together, how it's whole, how immense it is. Um, and not only creation on earth, but staring at the stars. These creatures are able to easily fool people because they exploit a feeling within us. They exploit an inherent feeling within us that yearns for wonder, for surprise, you know, for for awe, right? Because we were designed to come and experience that, and we experience that when we are made aware of, or when we finally tap into an awareness that makes us to be able to fully appreciate the immensity of creation, right? That's what they exploit, right? And they can easily do this because even though we have this yearning within us, we have moved so far away from being able to readily experience this awe and this awareness that lets you to be able to intuit and grasp the depth of creation, because we live through the ego, through the carnal, through the flesh, which is so far from spirit, right? Remember I said when we were just created, we lived forever basically. We would live perpetually because we were closer to this side, and we did not live for the flesh. We did not eat, we did not drink. Um we did not eat. We got on energy directly from the sun. We did not we did not drink. We got moisture through our skin. We only drank when we wanted to. So we did not expend a lot of function in a lot of energy and input in the flesh, in the carnal part of our being, right? The being was just there as a locale to say I'm here, as a base of I am this, I'm me, and I'm this being, right? But most of our input and energy and life force was spent on experiencing all of creation. So we were closer to spirit during those times. But then as time went by, we started being that we also inherently are mini gods, right? So, in giving us this capacity to experience creation, it also meant that he had to make us fully gods like himself and give us pieces of himself, and as such, good and evil, and as such, a higher form of awareness, and as such, being aware of the duality of life, right? See, as a human, unlike most of things that are created, you get to say, you get to refer to your body as extensions of yourself. But there's this other thing that okay, you say, this is my hand, this is my stomach, this is my brain, this is on my lips, these are my thoughts. Everything with which you refer to is not you, meaning there's something higher within you. That is something that other creatures do not have, right? And that is that what I'm referring to, that you refer to yourself as yourself, is basically a piece of God that other creatures do not have. It will not be televised. I said it will not be televised. You won't catch it.